Homicide investigation is underway today after a man was found dead outside the LA Convention Center. Police responded to a call of an assault with a deadly weapon after midnight last night, and when officers arrived, they found a man in his 30s unresponsive in the bushes. He was later pronounced dead at the scene. Witnesses told police the victim was hit with a hard object and the suspect ran off. No arrests have been made.
Shabbat Shalom Yesharallah. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rucha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Akim that's preached the word in all truth and sincerity, along with Israelite foreigner brothers that like the heathens, but the line on their foe side goes back to the nation of Israel, which nation of Israel are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans through the prophecies and curses of Deuteronomy 28 chapter and throughout the Bible. So this is a brother you call a mob of the video, and today's video will be entitled "The Days Are Evil." Because as you brothers seen the opening clip, it was a body found in the bushes near the LA Convention Center, out here in LA, Los Angeles, and said that the man was hit on the head with a blunt object, and he ended up dying. But them are definitely the times that we're living in, because a lot of people are on edge, man. With this economy, with this failing economy, with everything being expensive, with everything, job layoffs, people getting evicted, the high cost of living, from the rent, from the mortgage bills, for the utility bills, jobs not hiring. The job market is not hiring a lot of people. Is we're seeing the fruits of it within these people's actions. That brings me to the first precept in Matthew 24:12. Because we live in some evil days, which is all prophecy. But we are definitely living in the last days. But this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 12, and this is our Lord Yahushai speaking. It says, "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." Right. So iniquity means sin upon sin, and abound means increase. So when you see, a lot of crime in the earth, people murdering people, which is sin, when you see that increasing, that's because the love of many is waxing cold, man. So that's why it's a warning to us that we got to walk circumspectly, man. We have to be well aware of our surroundings, which Akim already are, but just a reminder, be mindful on even at work, man, amongst your co-workers, just try to be cordial with everybody. Of course, you don't got to be these niggas' friends and stuff, because, at the end of the day, you're just there to work and get your money and get on, but just be cordial with your co-workers. Don't try to get into any confrontation, no arguments, nothing like that, because these people are on edge, man. So just be mindful. I came out there, speaking to myself first and foremost, but this is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. It says, "See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise." Right. And circumspectly, circle means around, and spectly means to look. You got to get the word spectate, which means to look. So we just got to be well aware of our surroundings, man. From handling your affairs in Babylon, going to the store, going to work, going to a park, wherever, because, you know, these people got demons on them, man. Your neighbors, you know. So we got to be wise. It says redeeming the time because the days are evil. So the days are evil, man. We got to redeem the time. We got to understand the time we're living in, man. We're not living in a time of peace. We're living in a time of war, man. We're living in a time of hate. It says, verse 17, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is, right? So, we can't be unwise. We got to understand what the will of Yahweh Shema Shai is, what is the will of the Lord, to destroy this kingdom, America, which is going to do very soon, and to set up the kingdom of heaven on earth, which that's going to happen, man. But while we're here in captivity, we still got to, wait for the prophecies that come to pass before, the other prophecies come to pass before the kingdom of heaven to come, So, just got to be mindful, man. Ecclesiastes, Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 1, it says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Yeah, so, the Lord deals with times and seasons, and when you jump down to verse 8, it says a time to love and a time to hate. So we're not living in a time of love. We're living in a time of hate, a time of war and a time of peace. So, we're definitely living in a time of war, man. We're not living in a time of peace. So on our end, we got to make sure we apply the scriptures, and walk with wisdom with those that are without, as the scriptures say. Be cordial. Be at peace with all men. Be angry and sin not. So we gotta apply those precepts, man, those principles, man, to our life. And once we do that, the Lord preserves us. Because we can't, crash out, due to what's going on within this economy, man. Because we know this is supposed to happen. So we gotta rule our spirit, man. Yeah, it does. We're gonna be affected by these things. We're gonna be affected by the high cost of living, the high utility bills. Some brothers might get laid off or try to find work, but we have to remember in our minds that Yahweh Shema Shai is gonna make a way out of no way. The Lord is not gonna have His servants out here just forsaken, man. So yeah, I just wanted to make a quick lesson. I don't intend for the lesson to be too long. We definitely living in some evil days, evil times, man. Just gotta be circumspect, Akim, and just keep our head on the swivel. But yeah, Lord willing, Akim is edified, and so with that, I'm saying Shalom.